What's up, y'all? It's me, Shamar Liberton, back on the channel. Today, this is like a weird one because, normally this channel is like made for video editing and videography and, pretty much that world. But, today the focus was like a little different. I don't know if you guys like really know my backstory, but for those that don't know, when I was younger, I used to like be really big on games. And this was kind of like the inspiration for this video just because it's like a nostalgic kind of feel, just being a kid. And recently, as I gotten older, I had the opportunity of having both the latest consoles that came out in the past couple years, that being the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5. Now, growing up, I was a big Nintendo fan. I had a Game Boy Advance, not Nintendo, but no, it isn't Nintendo. Is it? Clearly, I'm not that big of a connoisseur in gaming, but I had a Game Boy Advance SP. I had a PlayStation 1, the first Xbox. I had a GameCube and played on Nintendo 64, which was like a really big deal for me back when I was a kid. So clearly I'm showing my age here for all of the youngins. But that was like my essential gaming back in the day. But obviously gaming has advanced so far to the point where we're on the 5th edition of a PlayStation. And I believe this is the 4th edition of Xbox. But I originally played the first Xbox to the 360 to the Xbox One, and then now the Xbox Series S. So today is not really a comparison or me trying to convince you which one is better, but just basically looking at both, telling you like the comparisons, like what's the similarities, what's the differences. Yeah, just having a nostalgic feel to this video, and pretty much at the end, I guess I will tell you which one is my personal favorite or which one I like to play more. But outside of that, let's just get started. But before we dive into this video, make sure to like, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, let's jump into it. All right, so starting off with the PlayStation, pretty much I had this system for almost a year now. I know the system, or both of these systems, came out a couple years ago, though I haven't had like too much time to play it, just because obviously being an adult, you just get older and just don't have as much time as you used to. In the few times I did play this system, to me it's just been nothing but fun, just to see how graphics and everything has advanced tremendously. Just coming back from the PlayStation 1, it's just like, if you look at the games back in PlayStation 1 versus now, it's crazy. But with the PlayStation 5, I know it supports 4K, it has immersive gameplay, even the controller to a certain degree has advanced so much to where there's haptic feedback, and there's also right in the center of the remote, sometimes you can hear the gaming within the controller. So even if you don't have your TV volume up, you can still hear, which is one thing I love about PlayStation. They make you feel involved in the game, almost like you're in it. So whether you're playing 2K or you're playing Horizon or you're playing Mortal Kombat, you feel as if you're the players in some sort. And I'm pretty sure with the next generation it'll improve even more, especially with AI slowly running the game. But with PlayStation, it just makes me feel like when they say immersive gameplay, it really means immersive gameplay. Another thing I can say I love about PlayStation is the fact of they just have so many games to choose from. I would say a good portion of them are both on the Xbox and PlayStation. However, when it comes to exclusive games, I would say PlayStation has the better advantage, especially with Spider-Man being like one of their top games. Horizon, God of War, there's so many games I could think about that's always been in the PlayStation line, and to me they just have a better catalog in terms of exclusive games. Now there's certain games that they do share, like NBA 2K, Call of Duty, and there's other games as well, I just can't think off the top of my head. But in terms of PlayStation, to me, when it comes to their gaming, it's so much better. Even though Xbox has great exclusive games like Halo and Forza Horizon, but to me, when it comes to gaming, especially single player role playing games, I firmly stand on the fact that PlayStation just has the better exclusive games. Specs is not really my forte. However, when it comes to heating and cooling, that has always been one of the biggest strifes in terms of both Xbox and PlayStation. I can remember when I was a child, just my Xbox One just like heating up and frying, just having too many problems, or the Xbox 360 with the 3 rings of death. If you know, you know. That for me was just like so tremendously bad. Even the PlayStation 2 being so bulky and having that loud fan in the back. So if you're trying to sneak and play games while your mother's sleeping, you getting caught. Like, you're just getting caught. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S serve well in terms of cooling and heating. I never had an issue. In the years I've had both machines, I've never had an issue in terms of heating or cooling down. My Xbox has never shut off because of heating. Same thing with my PlayStation. They have been excellent. I've never heard a fan a day in my life. Now, I know there's some news or there's some people out there who's had problems with their PlayStations. But for me, ever since I've been playing it, I just never had an issue in terms of heating. The one thing I will say about PlayStation, though, in terms of their specs, is the fact of rest mode and turning off mode. That for me is weird because with an Xbox, it's like with Xbox, there's energy saving mode and then there's turning off mode. So if you want your Xbox to completely turn off, all you have to do is click it off, and you change it in the settings if you want it to energy save. So if you're downloading an update or you're downloading a really big file of a game, you can easily change it. For PlayStation, it's more of rest mode and power off. So if you decide to go on rest and say, for example, you need to move your PlayStation somewhere and you plug the power adapter off or take it out the wall socket, your whole PlayStation will be forced to reset and have like this weird thing where it's just like you didn't properly turn it off. So now we have to repair storage and all this other stuff. That for me is like kind of weird, but I understand it. But at the same time, it's not ideal that, you know, I would put my PlayStation in rest mode and something were to happen, or having to turn my system off completely every single time just so when I plug it out, it doesn't have that issue. So that's the one thing I can say Xbox has over PlayStation, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. One big thing I can say, I didn't want to get into specs, but one big thing I want to say about PlayStation and Xbox is the fact that they took the power adapter, the big bulky ones that we used to have for my older people, but the big power adapter we used to have to travel and walk around with, they put it inside the machine now. So now it's lighter. It's literally just a plug-in cord that you plug in. So that's a win for both of them in my book. I don't know about everybody else, but that's a win for me. And the last thing I will say about PlayStation is the size. I feel like the size, I've traveled with both, and the PlayStation is just too big. I think that's like a obvious negative for them, but both the digital and the disc version of the PS5 is just so massive that it's way too heavy for a machine that is, trying to advance in terms of technology, but also downgrading in size. PlayStation 2 was a bit bulky. Then they came out with the PS2 Slim, which was fine, but still had some problems. The PlayStation 3 and 4 were not bad in terms of weight. I think they were pretty fine. But to see them go from getting lighter, especially with the Slim lines, to going the PS5 version, where both of them are pretty much the same size. I would say the digital version is a little slimmer because it doesn't have the disc, but outside of that, they're both very bulky. So for me, I really don't travel with the PS5 anymore just because it's too big. Whereas the Xbox Series S is really small. Like it's literally like an Amazon package. You're really just carrying an Amazon package with a controller, and you have 1440 resolution. PlayStation, I don't know about the PS6, but we got to get it together. All right, moving on to the Xbox side. Most of it is pretty similar. Well, you guys are seeing B-roll footage as I'm speaking, but I don't know if you can tell because my camera doesn't really do it justice. But even in the camera, even in playback, I can tell you that Xbox just doesn't compare to the PS5, and that's because the Xbox Series X supports 4K, whereas the Xbox Series S does not. So the Xbox Series S only has 1440, which is still pretty good. You still get like some, really deep HD quality, especially the type of TV that you have. But for me personally, I think the PS5 is better just because it supports 4K, and it's kind of 2023, and the Xbox Series S not having 4K is like I don't know. That's weird for me, but I understand it. So if you do want 4K for the Xbox, you have to get the X because the S is just not going to support that. However, with the S, the games I do play on the Xbox, it serves its purpose. It plays well. I play Call of Duty. I play Mortal Kombat, 2K, and there's so many other games on Xbox. The only strife I have about Xbox is their storage space. It's so bad. And the fact that you have to buy an expansion card for $200+ just to have extra space to download games on your Xbox is horrendous. I either have to buy a hard drive or I have to buy an expansion card just to play the games that I want to play. And the games that do support, the Series S, higher resolution, I have to have the expansion card. So that's the negative that I would say about Xbox, that if anybody is looking to buy a console, I would not go for the Series S just for that reason. Or if storage is like a really big deal for you, I would say if you're buying a Series S, you have to get the expansion card, because literally I think on the Xbox I only have like 2 games right now just because of the storage conditions. Whereas PS5, I think I have about 8, and that's without expanding my storage at all. Now, both come with the option of expanding the storage. So I think PS5 comes with like 825 gigs worth of storage right out the box, whereas Xbox only has, I believe it's 200 gigabytes. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's like 200 gigabytes, but it's smaller than PS5. So beware. And the only other plus I would say for Xbox is that I think in terms of their subscription, it's a lot better than PS5. Now that's hold on, because I understand both have their own, you know, individual systems. PlayStation has PlayStation Plus and Xbox has Game Pass, or Game Pass Ultimate, or, you know, just Gold. So that's their online multiplayer system where you pay monthly, depending on if you want to pay for a month, 3 months, or 12 months. And in my opinion, I like Xboxes a lot better, just because Xbox allows you to keep the game once you download it from Game Pass, whereas PlayStation Plus only allows you to have the game until a certain amount of time, and then they take it away. So that for me is like it's a little bit iffy, but I would go with Xbox just because you don't necessarily have to buy a $60 game when it's on Game Pass. It's only, I think 1 month is like $10 a month. So if you pay $10 a month, you pretty much have a catalog of games that you can have for free. Whereas PlayStation Plus, it's essentially the same ordeal. However, the games that they have for that month is the only time you can play that game. So you kind of have like a pros and cons with both sides. But I know that was a lot. Listen, so at the end of the day, you know, at the end of this video, what do I prefer? And personally, it's kind of hard to tell you, but right now, as of today, I would choose the PlayStation 5 only because outside of its size and you know, PlayStation Plus not being as advanced as Xbox, I would say the PlayStation 5 is so beautiful. Controller feels so good in my hands. The game is so immersive. You feel like you're in the game. It runs so smoothly. I never had an issue with it at all. To me, quality is just better. Now, is it fair that I'm comparing the PS5 to the Series S as opposed to the X? No, maybe not, but these are both systems that came out at the same time. To me, it's just the PlayStation has always just been better in terms of gaming because of the game catalogs that they do have and the exclusives that they have towards Sony and PlayStation. But that's not to take away from Xbox. If you want to get an Xbox, enjoy it, because I have both, and I promise you I play both. So Xbox has its pros over PlayStation as well, and they have some very great games over there at Microsoft. But if you was to ask me today, I'm choosing the PS5. That could change tomorrow. I could say Xbox. Obviously, if you want to, you know, hit me up on Xbox or PlayStation, I'll leave both of my gamer tags down below. And yeah, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.